Now we're going to have more on that stunning reversal in the Jussie Smollett case. Prosecutors say they believe the charges would drop them anyway, accused of staging a hate crime, falsely reporting it. But Chicago's police superintendent, we just heard Mayor Rahm Emanuel say this is a whitewashing of justice, not on the level. And even the prosecutors say this is not an exoneration. One of Smollett's attorneys joins us now, Tina Glandian. Thank you for coming in this morning. You heard the mayor earlier in our show say that this is not on the level. Your response?
There is absolutely nothing to warrant that statement. I think I just heard Don Abrams talk about how unusual this is, and I agree, and I understand why everyone is so confused by the turn of events in this case. But keep in mind, the actions in this case speak a lot louder than words do. It's the prosecution, it's the state of Illinois that decided to come forward and charge Mr. Smollett with 16 counts, 16 separate counts from the same incident. They clearly could have proceeded with one count as they originally did in the felony complaint. And then they decided to elevate this matter, to slice and dice this in every way possible, and to charge him with 16 counts. 2.5 weeks later, they made the decision to voluntarily discontinue the action altogether. And so I think
they say they still believe the charges.
Well, they say if they, you know what, George, I think if they believe the charges, they would never have dismissed the case. This is such a high-profile matter. Everyone's been talking about it. Obviously, it's made national headlines. And so
you're saying the state's attorney is lying?
Well, I'm saying their actions speak louder than words. They could have proceeded in a variety of ways. We were ready to move forward. We, appeared in court. We pled not guilty. We were ready to fight the charges, and they're the ones who voluntarily discontinued this matter. So I think that speaks volumes.
So that Jussie has said he's been truthful and consistent throughout this case. But he said at the beginning he didn't know who he encountered that night. He knew it was the brothers, didn't he?
He did not. The attackers were masked. He only saw one of them. One of them approached him from behind, and he was wearing a mask. And so he did not identify them. He initially had a really hard time believing that they could be involved because he knew one of them, and we can only speculate as to motivation.
As you know, the police say they have phone records of him talking to the brothers an hour before the attack,
absolutely,
an hour after the attack, and while they're in Africa.
Not an hour after the attack.
That's what they said.
That's completely false, and I've seen the phone records, and they've been produced. And one thing I do also want to put out there.
So you're saying he did talk to the brothers?
He absolutely talked to them because he had just hired the one brother to train him for his upcoming music video, for training in nutrition, which the brothers have now confirmed that that's actually what the check was for. And this is, again, one of the misstatements out there that Eddie Johnson went and held this press conference and said that the check was for the staged attack.
Yeah, their lawyer did tell me that. But you're saying he talked to them an hour before the attack,
absolutely,
but he didn't know that was them that attacked them.
Absolutely. And the reason he talked to them was if you look at the text messages leading up to the night of the incident, there's ample text about training and nutrition, and they were supposed to actually train that night. Jussie was flying in from New York, and his flight was delayed for 4 hours. So he was constantly texting and communicating about their planned training session. They were supposed to train that night as well as the next morning. And he eventually texted him when he landed and said now it was way too late, and he texted him and let him know that he landed late. They actually spoke by phone as well, and so he absolutely knew that he was on his way home. And
if the brothers are saying that he helped them stage this attack, you're saying the brothers are lying?
Absolutely.
They're not telling the truth?
No.
And what about the issue of the letter? As you know, the police are very clear. I want to show the letter up here, up on our screen, that was sent about a week before the attack. The police are very clear. They believe that Jussie sent that letter himself, and he addressed that in his interview with Robin. Let's take a look.
Just because on the letter it had a stick figure hanging from a tree with a gun pointing towards it, with the words that said, "Smollett Jussie, you will die." And the return address, there was no address, but the return address said in big red, like caps, MAGA. Did I make that up too?
Police say he did. Police said he sent that himself.
Eddie Johnson said that, and promptly the FBI came forward and said it's their investigation. That's absolutely false. The investigation's ongoing. They have not identified who sent the letter. The brothers did come forward and state that they had nothing to do with the letter, but it appears that the police, during a search of their home, did seize some magazines with, I guess, missing pages and a stamp book. Jussie has cooperated.
Has the FBI spoken to Jussie?
They had initially spoken to them. He's been cooperative with them, and at this point, to our knowledge, the investigation is ongoing. But it's absolutely false that anyone's concluded that Jussie was behind the letters.
Has he told them that he had nothing to do with it? Has he told the FBI that?
I believe at the initial, when they reported to, the day the letter was sent, I believe he said that. And
to the FBI?
I believe so, to whoever had responded to that, and I believe there were federal agents there.
Final question. You've said clearly you think the police are not telling the truth about Jussie. Are you going to sue?
We're weighing our options now. For Jussie, what's really important is he really just wants his career and his life back. Again, he did not ask for any of this. He was a victim of a crime. This has completely spiraled out of control and become a political event at this point, and his goal and focus right now is just getting his life back on track. He has not even started healing from the initial attack because he's been dealing with everything that's happened since then. I don't know. I mean, we're shocked at the mayor and the police superintendent doubling down yesterday when the prosecutor, after a dispassionate look at the evidence, realized that this does not hold up and chose to voluntarily dismiss all counts and expunge his record. So at this point, we're going to weigh our options and see how this develops.
Tina Glandian, thanks very much. Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.